Well, yesterday we talked about cooperative games where we're all working together. Well, this time we're going to split up into teams and we're going to be doing a little competing with our cooperative games.
That's right. Just like tug of war, at the end, one team's covered in mud, the other's sitting pretty.
All right, like I said yesterday, we talked about cooperative games. Now, we're going to move into what I consider my favorite kind of cooperative game. It's a variant on the concept. This one is teams games, and there really aren't tons and tons of team games out there. But man, when I just love the camaraderie of a team competing against another team. I mean, usually in cooperative games, right, you're competing against the game. You know, Matches of Madness, you're competing against the app and, you know, those kinds of things. This one is, man, you're working together to try to foil the other team's plans. And I love having an actual intelligence on the other side that you're working against.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. It was hard to come up with team versus team games. I had to struggle to figure out a game that fit this because when I went to the list, everything I could think of was already on there. I was like, oh no. But luckily, then it dawned on me that one of my favorite games from Origins this year is a team game.
That's true.
So I got lucky.
About time Chris got lucky. Long time coming.
Steve, do you have anything to say about teams games?
I will get lucky if you have a stroke and can't talk anymore. This would be great.
Well, you wouldn't be the only one, Chris. Yes, team games can be a ton of fun. I like pairing off and squaring off and, you know, playing off each other's strengths and working out a good strategy, coordinating victory, and then taking that victory. And you can only do that in a team game.
That would make sense.
I'm still laughing about it. Getting low. Anyway, so my first game that I want to recommend here for teams games. This is a game that I gotta preface this by saying that this game does a lot of things against the rules of game design. So it takes a certain kind of person to appreciate it. But it is a touch of evil, the supernatural game, I think it's called. And the reason I say that is because really, honestly, they use roll and move as your movement mechanic, which we've house ruled out.
Yes, it's so annoying.
But the fact of the matter is, this game, I just love it because the atmosphere of this game is fantastic. It has this concept of like the colonial era America horror theme, and every game is different because you bring in a new big boss, like monster, like a vampire, a werewolf, a gillman, like a ghost ship in the expansion. And the expansions, which I have all of them, expand the board bigger and bigger to make this giant area of the countryside that you're going across. You go to different locations. Each location has a different deck of ghosts and like events that can happen there. You're collecting items. And it is a teams game only in the fact that you can play it either completely competitive, you can play it completely cooperative, or you can split apart and play it in teams, which I think is fantastic that Flying Frog does this with all their games. As a matter of fact, Fortune and Glory is another one that I absolutely love. It's got the same kinds of problems where it's kind of wacky and it's very, this is a lot of dice rolling. It's very random and that kind of stuff, but it has the three modes and it plays perfectly well with all three. And my favorite for both games is to play in teams. I just have such a blast playing it.
Teams is awesome in this game, and this game is great cinematic fun. I feel like I'm watching like a 80s movie when I'm playing this game.
Me too.
Where you have all these monsters descending on this town. The town's totally screwed, so they go and they hire these mercenaries to come in and clean up. And that's where you come in.
It's funny because you said it reminds you of an 80s movie. It reminds me of a convention cosplay parade.
Yeah.
Because the artwork in the game is all photography of people in goofy makeup.
It's funny because I hated the artwork. And then when I started playing this game, I actually kind of like the artwork now.
It's one of
those
those
I've associated with this awesome game. So now I'm like, all right, I'm fine with it.
It grows on you in this weird, awful looking charm. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like bad artwork is fun. In this one, it's like, I don't know how they managed it, but the actors act bad in a still photograph.
You're right.
It really, it's like they went to a LARP and just picked the best costumed people they could and said, all right, get in front of this picture and look like you're acting.
That's great. You know, there's a director too. Look scared. Look menacing. Oh, I love it.
But it is a great game. I just have such a blast. It's one of those games where I love to get a big group of 8 people, literally. And this is another no-no. 8 people, which is 4 teams of 2, just going across the countryside, fighting monsters, like solving mysteries and doing all that stuff. And yeah, it takes all night long to play a game with 8 people in it. But I have such a blast because I get my partner, right? Got my partner with me. We're talking about what we're gonna do. I love it. It's a guilty pleasure game, as a matter of fact. It's just I love it.
It is so cool. I don't even think it's a guilty pleasure anymore. Like it has exploration. It has item collection, and it's got all those cool monsters that basically change the game completely. Like they add all different rules and mechanics to the game. So I think it's fantastic. And I like it co-op or team. Like I'll play this game whenever in any way, shape, or form. Like whatever format you want to play it, I'll play it. Like get it to the table. It's so much fun. And that ghost ship you mentioned, that is my favorite monster.
Really?
That one is so cool. It adds so many cool things to it. Like,
I do like that.
That's my favorite one.
Well, I agree. This game is awesome. And if you are not panting, dehydrated, and hungry for more by the end of the night, you're doing it wrong.
Chris, what would be your recommendation?
How can I follow that up?
I don't know. I don't. What is your recommendation for a team game?
All right. So my team game is it almost borders on party game because it doesn't have a big board. It doesn't have like a lot of flashiness to it at all. And this is a game I was referring to that I got at Origins. I was introduced to it by a buddy of ours and went out and bought it the next day. And then somebody else went out and bought it. And by the end of the convention, I think 5 people had bought this game that I know. It's called Decrypto. And it's a game where there are 2 teams. One person on each team is the cryptographer, I guess. And he's encoding this message by giving words that correlate to cards that only their team can see. And if he wants them to like pick the code 312, he gives clues, words that match the words in spot 3, 1, and 2. The whole time, the other team's goal is to intercept that code and figure out which words correlate to which numbers on the opposing team. So as you play and you get more words associated with the different numbers, you can kind of start to guess, okay, maybe their word in slot 3 is Christmas. So if it's a Christmas-oriented word, it's probably 3. And if you guess their code, you get a point. I like playing it. I like watching a team that's really good. Even if it's not my team that's good, watching somebody who really can play this game well is fascinating. Like our buddy Mike, he just kills at this game.
At Origins, everybody was talking about this game. Everybody that I came across from our group was chatting about how much fun they had with Decrypto. And people were like, at least 3 or 4 people told me the story of the game from their perspective. So of course I ran out and bought it, and I haven't yet played it. I haven't played it yet because every time I try to get it out, everybody goes like, I don't think it would play it that well with 4. We should get at least 6. And like, So I don't know. Is that the truth?
I think you need 6 because you need you have one person who's creating the code, like the words. And then you have the two other people who can now talk together and try to decipher it.
You get the team feeling there because you get the camaraderie of working together on a problem, but then you also have the clue giver kind of guy.
Right.
Okay.
And on top of that, like you might write a clue that only one person on your team knows, Steve.
Yeah.
It has happened.
It's all my fault.
All right, Decrypto. And the last one, Steve, what is your game that you recommend for teams?
Well, my favorite team game was generated by a bunch of Engelsteins. And they charged up their dilithium crystals, and they pumped out Space Cadets Dice Duel. Now, this game is fun, and it's frantic, action-packed, and I think you're going to love it. So the game is a map of space, and there's asteroids and chunks of things floating around, like there is in space and as one to do.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And you have your 2 ships. Now, your 2 ships are commanded by your crew. Your crew is whatever yahoos are next to you. And you have a captain overseeing the whole affair. So one of you is rolling dice, trying to move your ship around. One of you is charging weapons. One of you is charging shields. One of you is regulating power, something like that. Anyway, there's all these stations. and they all work together in harmony. The captain should be the one barking out where you need to go, what you need to do, fire torpedoes, this, that. Other teams doing the exact same thing, and they're trying to beat you. This is a very frantic game if you want to do well. If you want to lose horribly, just sit there and chill.
Just take your time.
But when you get down, everybody's throwing their dice, and there's confusion, chaos. It's great.
People are yelling, screaming, getting frustrated, yelling at their captain.
I've played this game a number of times, and my favorite station is to play the captain. I love being the captain because I'm going back and forth. You're standing behind the crew usually.
Yeah.
The crew's there like rolling the dice, going wild. And as the captain, I'm walking back and forth, and I'm like leaning down and whispering, "Okay, we need those missiles now." And we go down here and move over there and that way, trying to keep the other team from hearing my transmissions to my crew.
Right.
I love it. I just think it's so much fun. I don't even care about rolling the dice. I just want to walk back and forth and coordinate all the people.
I find this game so frustrating because I hate when I'm at a station and I just can't get my dice rolled. And the captain is just like, we gotta move now. And I'm like, I'm just not getting the dice. Sorry.
You need to start pulling your own weight, Miller. You're going out.
I know, right?
You're going out the airlock.
But it's so much fun. And I was nervous because it had the name Space Cadets on it. And I remember when we played the first Space Cadets and we were just kind of like lukewarm about it. It was all right. It's another co-op. Space themed, but then when we played Dice Duel, it was just like, whoa, like your blood gets pumping, you get excited, and just being in real time, I think, is a huge thing here
For sure.
So yeah, I love it. I'm trying to think what it reminded me a little bit of that submarine game,
Captain Sonar.
I
don't like that game.
I know.
I don't like it.
It's similar in the sense that you have
It is
different
similar.
people, like So if you like Captain Sonar, I recommend you check out Dice Duel.
Periscope up.
All right, well, come on back tomorrow where we're going to move on to a different kind of cooperative game. We're going to talk about the one versus many cooperative game. All right, see you tomorrow, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thanks so much, everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please do us a giant favor by subscribing to the channel and clicking that wacky bell icon. If you're into board games, miniatures games, role-playing games, we have a bunch of audio podcasts you might enjoy. You can find those at thesecretcabal.com or on iTunes and Stitcher.